Would you buy a restaurant's leftover food at the end of the night? Well, there's an app for that now, and that might sound silly, but Too Good To Go is an app where you can buy a restaurant's leftover food at a discount. We'll get into the pros and cons of it and if I think it's actually worth it and which places are better than others. But if you are new here, my name is Tori. I am 25 years old and I live in LA. I post a new video every single Wednesday, so please hit that like and subscribe button down below. Comment, talk to me. Do not be a stranger. I would love to hear from you. And also, if you've tried any Too Good To Go places, let me know. But let's get into it. What exactly is Too Good To Go? It's actually an app that was started in Denmark, and I've seen a lot of videos from overseas reviews and hauls, and I have no idea when it came to the US, but what it is, it's an app, and it's a free app. You don't pay extra money to have the app or to do transactions on there. I'm guessing they probably take a percentage on the back end because there's not really ads on the app. So they've got to be taking a percentage of whatever purchase you are making. Now the food you are going to be picking from that restaurant is a mystery, and all of the restaurants require a pickup window, which means you have to pick it up during a certain time period on a certain day. Some purchases you'll make them and the pickup is that day, but a lot of times if restaurants run out or they do them the day ahead of time, it'll be you'll pick it up tomorrow during this specific window. And some restaurants are multiple hour windows, whereas other ones it's been 30 minutes. You have to make sure you're at the restaurant and pick up the items, because if you don't, they could cancel your order and then obviously you'll get refunded, but you don't get the mystery box of items. Now, how much do these mystery bags actually cost to get this food? Now, every restaurant is a bit different, and some restaurants even have tiers where you can get a smaller bag for this amount of money or more items for this amount. But the restaurants near me don't really do that. I've only seen like one or two, and for the most part, it's like one tier is sold out, so it's like I couldn't even get that one if I wanted to. Now, other places are more common for that. There's a grocery store in New York, and I believe they have other locations, but they're very much known for having two different tiers, and people do a lot of review videos on should you do this tier or this tier, like which one's worth it more.
I finally managed to snag one of the highly coveted Italy surprise bags on Too Good To Go, and I can't wait to show you what I got. Okay, so for NYC Too Good To Go users, Italy has a reputation for being one of the most popular surprise bags. It's priced a little bit higher than your typical $5.99, but that doesn't stop it from selling out in minutes. So we've got a regular size mixed bag and a large size mixed bag. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the regular size first. And it's cute because they even have this Too Good To Go sticker on there. This is like chock full of food. I was able to stuff it into my tote bag, but like this is full of food.
Now the ones near me, most of the bags cost between $5 and $6. Some are below, some are above, but not really. It's mostly $5 to $6. And then they tell you the value of the mystery bag. You're supposed to be getting enough things to meet this value at the price if you had bought it not in a mystery bag. And most of the values are $15. So when you consider that's 3 times the value, but again, it's a mystery and you don't get to choose the items. Now, what type of restaurants are available very much depends on your area. I live in LA, so I probably have more than some other areas, but it's still not as many as I would want within a close distance. The main places that are near me are going to be bakeries, coffee shops, grocery stores, and food restaurants like meals. And my favorite is bakeries of all of them, but we'll get into that last because it's only specific bakeries. Now, as for food restaurants, there's not that many on the app, and I think a lot of people want that, but it's geared more towards the bakery side of things and coffee shops. I think because there's a lot more waste there, and there's a lot more stuff that can't be reused and isn't very shelf stable. So restaurants are far and few between. The main ones I have seen on there is pizza places. I did go to one pizza place and I did think it was pretty worth it if you like a variety of pizza slices. Because the fact that it's a mystery, you don't get to choose the items, and honestly I think they're the pizzas that majority of people don't like as much. I ended up getting 3 slices of pizza for the price of 1 slice of pizza.
Is the Too Good To Go app worth it at places that aren't big
bakery, so I checked out a pizza place and I got 3 slices of pizza for $4.99, and I did eat one in the car. Now, the one thing to note about all of these slices is they are cold, and you don't get to choose the slices you're going to get because that's the point. It's supposed to be leftovers. But the pizza is decently good. It's a large size, and it's a good deal if you like that pizza place, but it's $5 a slice, and I'd almost rather pick out my slice and enjoy it even more. So again, a pretty good value, but only one slice of pizza was really one that I liked, and all the pizza is cold. So for a lot of these food restaurants, you're going to have to reheat the food, and honestly, I think for the value, I would rather just get the one slice that I want and not have to reheat it. But for people that are pizza lovers and love a variety of foods and don't mind heating it up or eating it cold, again, you're getting a good value for a nicer pizza place than, let's say, like your fast food pizza places. Now, the other restaurants that I saw, a few and far between, were some like barbecue places, Thai places, but again, they're very rare and there's not many available, and a lot of times it just said sold out near me, so I have not personally tried them yet, but the pizza places are a lot more common. So instead of a main dish, some of these restaurants will do sides or ingredients. I haven't personally experienced the ingredients one yet, but I did go to California Fish and Grill, which in their description, it does say you're going to be getting sides. And you're only going to be getting 3, which I think is kind of silly because it's supposed to be leftover food, so I feel like you should give me what's left over and ration it out on how many bags you sell instead of giving me a set amount, which I think the pizza place might be a set amount too, but either way, that point aside, it was not worth it in my opinion because the fact that the 3 sides I got were the cheapest sides they had available. Is the Too Good To Go app worth it in LA? This is California Fish and Grill for $4.99. They give you 3 sides and they gave me fire roasted corn, which is $5.25 at the restaurant, and probably the only good thing in here because they gave me white rice. They had other sides and they chose to give me white rice, which is worth about $3.50 at the restaurant, but about nothing to me. And then there is cauliflower rice, and that's only because I got a substitute for black beans. So this is $4.50. So overall, this order is worth about $12 when it says it's worth $15. And overall, they had plenty of other sides, but only give you 3. And there's only usually one good one, it seems like. So what do you think? Is it worth it for stuff that's going to get thrown out? Very basic item to be paying this money for when, again, it's going to be thrown out. I don't really think the value was there. And actually, monetarily, I did the math of it. It did not meet the $15 value that they claimed that it had. So I would stay away from California Fish and Grill. Some people love it, but I honestly think unless you like the restaurant, a lot of these places are not going to be worth it for you for leftover food. It's not that much of a discount, so I would stick more towards food restaurants that you already want food from there, and then maybe it'll be more worth it. Now, as for grocery stores, I have not personally tried one because unfortunately the only one that's like reasonably close for me to go to is a vegan grocery store, and I'm not vegan, so a lot of that food is not going to be geared towards me, and not a lot of it's going to be stuff I'm probably going to want to use because a lot of vegan foods do have a lot of like chemicals and preservatives in them to, you know, substitute all the natural stuff, and I'm not as into that. Now, that's not to say the food wouldn't be wonderful, and it's also not to say that that would be the case, but it's not worth the risk to me. Now, as for coffee shops, I think coffee shops are so worth it. They're going to be pretty close to bakeries. I tried Alfred's at 2 different locations because I had a fluke thing happen the first time I went. The first time I went to Alfred's, I went to an Alfred's that had leftover breakfast food, and I have been told that that's not the case most of the time. The Too Good To Go app worth it in LA for leftover foods. I went to Alfred's and secured the goods for $4.99. I got this whole entire bag. Now, this is my 3rd place I'm trying, so let me know what I should try next. I got a breakfast sandwich that's worth $8.50 normally. It has bacon on it, so delicious. I got another food item, which is a veggie breakfast burrito, and this thing is massive. It was worth $12, and surprisingly, they both came with sauces, a salsa one and a green sauce. So happy to have these. Normally, that'd be worth $20.50, but I also got one more item because I mentioned there's normally pastries, and he's like, oh, I have one left. let me add it. So happy about that. It's a banana nut bread. It was delicious. It's worth $5. So in total, my bag's worth about $25. So what do you think? And those breakfast burritos and sandwiches were big. They had a lot of good ingredients in them, and they gave me the sauce packs on the side. So overall, a very good value, but not traditionally what you're gonna get at Alfred's, because a lot of times they say that stuff sells out and it's not left over at the end of the night. So I went to Alfred's again, and the prettiest location of all that area is beautiful. And that time I got a bag full of pastries. Is buying Alfred's leftover food worth it? Well, I headed over and I secured the goods, a whole entire bag. Let's see what's inside. To better explain what I got a whole entire bag of food for $4.99 off the Too Good To Go app, which is supposed to be eliminating food waste that's going to get thrown out at the end of the night. But it is a mystery bag. You don't choose your items, and some are better than others, I will admit. The first one I got for this order is actually a cake that's normally $5 by itself, and then the next thing is another slice of ricotta cake for $6.50. And I got an item I've had before, which is their banana walnut bread, which is normally $5. This one wasn't as good as the last one I had, but I'm still happy to have it. And the last item is actually a white bagel, which is normally $3.25 without the cream cheese. So what do you think? Worth it? So I got pastries, and I actually got a white bagel too, but it did not come with the cream cheese. Overall, both times the value surpassed the $15 mark and were wonderful items that were reasonably fresh and were going to last a while longer. So I was pretty happy about that and probably would repurchase it again. It's like a fun little treat in the week for, I believe that one's about $5. Now, as for the last one I want to talk about, that is bakeries. And I'm so happy I went to the bakery that I did yesterday. Or was it the day before yesterday? I can't keep track of anything in life. But either way, I went to a bakery a while ago, and that gave me a bad representation of what I feel like the bakeries are like on Too Good To Go, because I kept seeing the videos where people were getting boxes full of stuff. They were getting so many items, and I went to a bakery, and that bakery, oh wait, actually before I get into that, I think there are two types of bakeries on the Too Good To Go app. There's gonna be the specialty, like small bakery with maybe fancier items, but honestly, it's a smaller bakery. And then there's gonna be that like neighborhood bakery that's like in that plaza with the gas station and a fast food restaurant. I don't know if that reference makes any sense, but either way, those two types of bakeries. And the first one I went to, I would say, is the smaller bakery, more of like a little niche place. And it did meet the value that it said it was worth, but it wasn't personally worth that much to me because it costs only $1 less than this whole entire box of food, where I already ate one item out of it, and that one only came with 3 items. Trying the Too Good To Go app in Los Angeles to see if the deals are really good or if they're kind of just meh. This place is a bakery.
La Frenche, I think, cafe is our second choice, and I asked because I was like, how much do you normally get? And they're like 3 items. So it seems like it's a set amount, not per se based on what's left over. So again, I want to find a place that's based on what's left over, because I think you get a lot more. I've seen big boxes, whereas this, you only get 3 items, which is still a pretty good deal because they said the pastries range to about $4 to $5 each. We got a muffin. This one looks pretty good. I think it's blueberry. And then we got 2 other pastries, and I paid $4.99 for this one. I think something a little bit more with tax. There is some kind of pastry like this that looks like it has chocolate. A little tiny bit of chocolate in it. And then the last thing I got was a cinnamon roll. And the cinnamon roll does look delicious. Overall, everything looks really good. I think it's worth $5 just because the fact that each item is about $5. But at the same time, again, I want to find a place that does a whole entire box of leftovers, because they had so many leftovers and I only got 3 items, and you're only gonna get 3 items.
Again, it met the value, but only because their baked goods cost more money. And 3 items for $5 is like, yeah, it's like kind of a value, but nowhere near the value of this, which is $6. But again, so many freaking items, and it was like full to the brim box.
Is Too Good To Go worth it at a donut place? I have a mystery box that was $6 from Jolly Donuts, and let's bust into everything we got. It is this full box right here. On top, we have some kind of a Danish that's like pre-wrapped up. Chocolate swirly type donut. I forgot what these are called. Then there is this bad boy right here. Oh, this looks good. This looks good. Another one similar to this one. And then it looks like there was a basically plain donut, or maybe cinnamon. No, I think it's plain. Then there's this bad boy right here. One of my favorites, this one. These ones are so good. And then another plain donut, or maybe sugar. I'm not fully sure. And then another glazed donut. Looks like it has filling in the middle. And last but not least is two giant things. This one right here, which looks like some kind of like glazed cinnamony rolly type thing. This one right here, I have no idea what half these are. Definitely one of my biggest Too Good To Go orders. It is all of that stuff right there. So is Too Good To Go worth it at a donut shop?
And this feels more like what Too Good To Go should be like. And that's why I would say if people want the most value out of the Too Good To Go app, I would say go to the ones where they're your neighborhood bakeries that are pretty big and reasonably priced, because you're gonna get the most amount of items. But I do think it's gonna be hit or miss. Not every place is gonna be a good value. Not every place is even gonna meet the value it says the box is supposed to be. And I also think that a lot of times if you think that specific place is a good value, it's likely to be a good value again. And if it's a bad value, it's also likely to be a bad value again. Because even though it's supposed to be based on waste, I think each restaurant has kind of a set amount of waste that they put in these mystery bags and boxes. So it's like each restaurant determines their own amount of waste they're going to be giving out. It's not going to be whatever is left over. It's just not. I wish it was. I wish, because they sell the bags ahead of time, I wish it was like, oh, we have 4 bags today, let's split it up by 4. That's not the case. It's like they have a set amount they do each time, and I'm like, oh, I wish it was the other way around. But overall, I do review each individual restaurant on short form content, so YouTube Shorts and other platforms. So if you want to see the more specific elements of different places, then go check that out. But for now, please hit the like and subscribe button down below, and let me know if you want me to review any other places on Too Good To Go, or if you want me to review anything in general. And I hope you have a great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you. I'll see you Wednesday.